All right, I'm here with the host of the Inside Golf podcast, Andy Lack, uh, currently residing in the Sades right now. LACC US Open week. I mean, this has got to be as excited as you can be for a major, right?
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, Oak Hill, I have a bit of a personal connection to that course, but I've actually played LACC a lot more than I've played Oak Hill, and I think it's a way better golf course than Oak Hill. So I would say, in terms of like from a viewing standpoint, I told you this, I think this has the potential to be one of the best major championships of the last decade. That's how high I am on this course. So I cannot wait till Thursday.
Yeah, so what is your plan for the week? I know you'll be headed out there, obviously, like taking anything from Oak Hill. Are you like jonesing to just watch it on your TV for a little bit and chill? How many days are you going to be headed to the course?
So I was actually planning to go to practice rounds both yesterday and today, and the day kind of got away from me. I didn't make it over there. Currently I'm only scheduled to go on Saturday. And I'm gonna try and go to the practice round tomorrow. So my hope
Okay.
is practice round tomorrow to to get some takes but
Yes.
Rick's been really good. Rick's been giving me a ton. So I feel like I have a good semblance of how the course is going to play. But then all day Saturday is the only day of the tournament that I will be there for. You know, what's interesting is, I don't think they're going to I don't think they're letting a lot of people in, which kind of
Yeah.
explains why the tickets were so expensive, which I'm excited for, because I mean, then hopefully it's already a difficult enough golf course to view
Yeah.
like on
Like
site.
it's
So
it's
my hope
not
is,
like they're going to be able to like it's not the best on viewing experience. Like I was hearing
right,
on the No
right.
Laying Up pod, like a lot of the lines and the ropes or whatever are like well off the green, and it's not like you're going to
Yeah.
be sitting up on a green and people are going to be lining the fairway. So, I think that will probably even out with the less amount of people there, and I hope it's a good viewing experience. But I'm very curious to see how it is for you on Saturday.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, that was my initial impression of the course and the times that I've been there. My takeaway was like, I have no idea how they're going to fit all of these people here. Had some questions about parking. Still have those questions about parking. Um, I'm sure there's a shuttle situation and such, but yeah, I mean, I think I have my idea of what I think are going to be good spots to watch the golf tournament. There are a couple holes that I want to get down to and really see, but at the end of the day, if Rory is anywhere near relevant in this tournament, that's where I'll be. So,
Yeah, and that sets up for legitimately the worst viewing experience possible because everyone wants to watch Rory. He is like truly like always the most popular golfer followed unless Tiger is playing. So that kind of makes it rough to see your
I
guy.
would
But
say, yeah, I'd
I'll
say
never forget that.
Rory and the final group, right?
Yeah,
Like if
yeah,
Rory's not in the final group, will always get
yeah.
a fair amount. And wouldn't you say that probably Homa and Morikawa get a little bump
No.
this week because of
Nope.
that? No, you
Nope.
don't think
I
so?
I like everyone, no matter the tournament, everyone wants to follow Rory. That's just what I've gleaned.
Xander did in San Diego when I went to
Yeah.
Torrey.
Yeah.
And Xander's
Maybe.
not a guy that people generally has a massive following. So
Yeah.
yeah, no, you could be right. I mean, I think Rory will still probably, if he's relevant in the tournament, there'll be a ton of people with him.
Yeah.
But I think Scotty will. Do you remember off the top of your head who Scotty's playing with the first 2 days? It's
I think he's
Morikawa
playing
and
with Homa and Colin.
so that group's going to be big,
Yeah.
and then the other
Yeah.
big one will be the Rory Brooks one.
Yeah. No, for sure. I would love to get out there for one day, but I think I had enough major championship golf for 1 year. I'm very much looking forward to just cracking open a couple beers and watching it on my TV on Saturday. Not unfortunate, but Sunday, Father's Day, everyone knows dad wants to go to a Met game. So day, Met game. All right, like fine, I guess. But luckily it's on the West Coast. It will end later. It's a day game. I can watch it on my phone. Probably not going to be sweating anything. So like it will be okay. But Saturday, it got invited to golf. I'm like, yo, I'm literally watching the golf Saturday all day and I'm not moving. And you know, the productivity at work Thursday, Friday might be a little bit lower this week, but you know, that's fine. There's no issues there.
Well, have you looked at the TV schedule? Because at least for where you are on the East Coast, I'm pretty sure that NBC is going to be on the air till like 8 p.m., right?
Yeah. So I would assume it ends at like 7, 8. So it'll be fine. I'm not too worried. I could probably play golf early Saturday, but we'll see how much golf I get to watch over the next 2 days. But yeah, I'm excited. Obviously, kind of is a little bittersweet. We only have one more major this year. Again, feel like the season just started. But yeah, no, I've, you know, heard about LACC, you know, talked to my boy Tron, and he's like, yeah, like they weren't even like welcoming to Obama, like when he played there. Like this is one of the most exclusive clubs in the country. It's, you know, they don't like, you know, celebrities and athletes, and you're not any high profile members are not getting in there. So I think that kind of adds to the, you know, allure of this place, and I'm glad that they're kind of welcoming the doors. And it has to do with Jeff Shackelford, Jeffy S, as we like to call him, on the Fried Egg Pod. They were talking about how the books that he wrote about George Thomas, they were kind of like, okay, like maybe we could kind of show this off a little bit.
Yeah, it took a while, man. I mean, this is a membership. This club's been in talks with the USGA forever. I mean, the USGA has identified Chicago Golf Club and Los Angeles Country Club, two of the most private golf courses in the country and two of the best golf courses in the country. Both are in the top 5 that I've ever been to. And they've been trying to get a US Open here for quite some time. LACC essentially said, we'll try the Walker Cup, which is a super prestigious event that generally goes to really good golf courses.
Wait, yeah, can I ask you this? Because I was looking at the wiki. How do they get such good golf courses like Pine Valley?
Dude, because the Walker, yeah, because first of all, the Walker Cup, the players aren't as good, so the golf course generally doesn't need to change as much. So like National could never host a US Open, but you could do a Walker Cup because it's like it's match play and it's amateurs and stuff like that. So it's lower risk, it's lower less fans, lower profile, but still incredibly prestigious. And so, yeah, the golf courses for the Walker Cup rotation, even the ones in England, like Sunningdale. Yeah, it's like Seminole, National. I think Chicago Golf Club is going to have one soon. Cypress Point, Pine Valley, the best golf course in the world. So that has the best. Yeah, that has the best. But no, LACC this year, I mean, I just hope people understand how special it is, because I think that the USGA is going to get into a really unfortunate Pebble Beach and Pinehurst situation over the next couple of decades, which I don't think are even in the same stratosphere as LACC. So I'm super psyched, and I hope people appreciate how special this place is.
So I've been wanting to ask you this. You know, you're an LA guy. You spend most of the year in LA. What are your top 3 LA courses that you would want to be a member at? Like, what is your ranking of country clubs in LA that you would want to be a member at? Is LACC number 1, hands down, not even close?
I think LACC is number 1 in the country for me that I would want to be a member at.
Really?
Well, let me ask you this question. If the question is, name one golf course in the country that you would want to be a member at that fits right now conveniently into your life, I would choose LACC. If it's like name any course,
you have a private
just assume
jet
that you can buy a house. I'd probably choose Cypress, but no, I would go LACC 1, probably Bel Air 2, Riviera 3.
So
those are the big 3.
All
George T's. All George T's. El Cap, George T too, though. Yeah.
No, so did you watch the history of like the George Thomas in LA video
No,
from
was it
Friday.
good? Should I
It was
check it
amazing.
out?
It
I've
was
been so
awesome.
slammed. Is it
It was
really good?
awesome.
The
So
captain, George T is the
you read
fucking
that? I'm
man,
guessing you
dude.
read that book, right?
I read the book.
Okay, all right.
I know a lot about George T.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, no. So I don't know what it
Philadelphia
is.
School of Golf Course Architecture. Ever heard of it?
Like,
George Trump,
like
Pine Valley,
I
Marion, Billy
like
Bell.
golf courses, but I'm not like crazy about golf courses. I don't know what it is. Bel Air Country Club is fucking sick. Like Bel Air is like top 3, top 5 golf courses I would ever want to play. I'll put it above LACC. But because they did a feature on it, I was like, this is
Really
the sickest fucking golf course I've ever seen. Like where they
big,
built it
big
in
Goke
LA,
restoration
like
too.
the
Yeah.
elevation and the US women's am is there this year. Like I might fly out to go. Like I don't know why, but I'm very, very intrigued by Bel Air. So that's my number one in LA. That would be my number one
Let
country
me.
club.
Yeah, that's been on my list for a while. I have a buddy
Yeah,
who's a
you got to
junior
get
member
out there,
there,
dude.
and yeah, I told you he invited me one time, and then I kind of got like a blue balls invitation situation where he never really followed up on the invitation, and I wasn't
Yeah,
really in a position where you got to play those situations
yeah.
cool. It's all
You can't be like, yo,
political
let me
and
play
stuff.
your club, bro.
Right. So wait, but can I get your answer for that question of what golf course you'd most like to be a
PV,
member with if you had to choose
PV.
one?
Obviously, it's PV. Like if I could play one.
Can I ask the two-parter is one that fits into your life right now that makes the most sense conveniently, and then one where you can assume you have a house at the course?
Like I think it's PV on both.
I was going to say, I feel like the easy answer for fits into your life conveniently is Friars. You can't be
Yeah,
more than 30 minutes from Friars.
sure. Yeah, I mean,
Honestly,
yeah,
National is probably an hour for me.
yeah. No, I've passed Friar's Head. Like my cousin's a caddy there, so yeah, I guess fits into my life now. Yeah, I'll go Friars over National Golf Links. I'm not, I'm more of like in the new school of architecture. That's kind of the camp I'm in. Currently, like that's what I most like reside in. But like
I
I
don't know
think
if you'd National's really stuffy too. It's like National's like you're
I'm
wearing a
good.
blazer to lunch. They don't have a menu. It's just like you're eating the lobster tail and the clam chowder. Like just deal with it.
Yeah, no, I'm good on National. But yeah, I mean, I think something that not a lot of people know is that I've played a George Thomas design on multiple occasions, so I'm very familiar with Bermuda-based bent grass greens, Los Angeles Country Club that George Thomas had his hands all over. So I feel like I have a little bit of a leg up this week. Like I'm feeling really good about LACC, like given my experience in the area.
Yeah, El Cab comp course, obviously. What Brian's referring to for the viewers is my golf course that I'm a member at in LA. George Thomas had a hand in the design. I would not call him the primary designer. He's definitely been to the property and had some sort of small advisory role. But what you can say, Brian, is that El Cab has the exact same agronomy as LACC. It has Bermuda-based fairways and Bermuda-based rough and bent grass greens. And that's a golf course that I'm used to playing on every week, right? And so the style of golf that you're gonna kind of see. And when you came out here, it was pretty damn firm, right? Because
Yeah,
you
it
came out in
was.
September.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
greens
so
were
it's really
rolling,
firm.
dude. The greens were
Yeah,
rolling
the
that
greens are
week.
rolling. So the style of golf that we're going to get this week. And I've said this now on a couple podcasts is that this marine layer soft golf course narrative started formulating and I was never there. I think this is going to play plenty firm. I don't think it's going to be it may not be Shinnecock 2004 firm, like golf courses out of control firm, but it's going to be plenty firm.
Yeah, I've been pointing it out. I kind of invented the take. Like I trust Vegas. Like whatever Vegas sets their line at as the winning score, like they've been on for 2 courses. Like we didn't know exactly how it was going to play. Like Oak Hill, it was 9.5. Brooks won at 8 or 9. And then even fucking the Canadian Open last week, they set it at 17.5 and they won at 17.
17.
And they set it at 8.5 this week. So I don't think that's crazy. I think
That's perfect.
I would
I
take
wouldn't
someone.
bet that
Yeah.
because I think
Yeah.
it's between 6 and 9. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. So Vegas is good at setting odds. I don't know if anyone knows that or anything, but quick aside, Canadian Open, congratulations on Big Dick Nick Taylor. Who touted Nick Taylor?
Who touted him?
Who touted Nick Taylor? Who touted Nick Taylor? Painful for me, but it's okay. Honestly, my thing about like golf outrights is that you always want to look to a moment and be like, oh, well, he should have made that putt. There was no putt that Tommy Fleetwood should have made that he didn't in regulation. He made everything he looked at. So it's not like he missed a 4-foot birdie to win the tournament. Like obviously 18 was unfortunate, but he made everything he looked at, and he made a ton of putts he shouldn't have made. So did Nick Taylor. I mean, he putted the lights out. That was really impressive. But congratulations, who touted Nick Taylor. I'm sure that one felt good.
Yeah, that was a good one. It gave me, if anything, it just gave me like a little more leeway to bet, the Disgusting Brothers this week.
I know you.
Get away
like with, I remember you saying on a pod like that you bet like Cantley at the US Open last year, specifically because you were like, I picked the last major winner, and you like wanted to like get contrarian and just be like, fuck you guys, like Cantley's winning. So I know you, Andy. I know you. And I know that factored into your Tony Finau bet. Like, you don't have to tell me. I know it.
Well, I actually think Tony Finau, like, that's not a bit. Like, I think Tony Finau.
No, I know it's not a bit.
Unbelievable week. Yeah. No, I mean, I feel really confident in my bets this week, and I like the way it's shaping out. It's interesting. There's no like every single guy this week. There's no consensus. This is the guy you have to bet. There's a lot of popular guys, but there's not one specific. Every single guy you could give a contrary reason for, or a negative reason for.
Every single person.
Yes, there's a giant.
Like every person you give a really fucking strong case to under like
100%. Like even the people that are like, yo, this is so obvious Scotty's going to win. There's a whole other camp of people that are like, yo, I'm never going to bet a guy at 7-1. All the people that are, on the, Rahm is actually kind of not super popular this week.
Yeah.
Brooks is actually not as popular than I would have expected. Xander and Cantlay obviously don't have to go into them. Cam Smith is popular, but there's still probably a camp of people that are like, I don't think he's a good enough driver of the ball to compete here, which is a fair criticism. Spieth is probably the one guy where everyone's like, yeah, I can't really, this does feel like a Spieth golf course. It does feel like a week that Spieth's going to do well, but there's still a lot of people that are like, Spieth's kind of just a guy. He hasn't won a major in 6 years, and maybe save it for the Open Championship.
I'm still, regardless of the golf course, I'm still having reservations when you look at the past 7 US Open winners to think of the winner not being a beefy, amazing driver of the ball that's long and straight, and they are known for their driver. Gary Woodland, Brooks Koepka, Jon Rahm, Bryson DeChambeau, Matt Fitzpatrick. Like, these are all elite drivers of the ball that are long off the tee. So I know this golf course is a little bit different, but like, I like Cam Smith and Spieth, but like, it's harder for me to get over that hump, just like the way US Opens are played.
But you got to look at it like who won at Chambers Bay, who won at Marion. That's the mindset. And who's good at Augusta, right? The mindset should be more, I would say Augusta is firm Masters, which there's been a couple of in the last couple of years. Firm Masters, in terms of what those leaderboards look like, way better reference point than a Torrey Pines leaderboard or an Oak Hill leaderboard or a Winged Foot leaderboard, in my opinion. I could be wrong. I don't think I am, but I could be wrong. But that's what I would go to. So that's why I think like I think the Cam Smith and the Spieth thing, I think it's fair. And I think that at least one of those guys is going to play really well this week. So I'm on board with both of them.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get into it. Do you want to give your take on the course quick? Do you want to get into the course? Andy has a lot of great, resources. Everyone should sign up to Rick Run Good to get his course previews, and everything. Like you want to do a quick synopsis of your thoughts on the course, which is not like any course we've seen on the PGA Tour. So I think that's at least known, at least.
Yeah, I'll go quick because I've done, I'm sure there are some overlap in the Venn diagram of people listening now that have heard, you know,
Yeah.
hours of things that I've had to say on Los Angeles Country Club. So I'm not going to belabor the point.
No, I want my people to hear it though.
Okay.
I think my people can
Shout out
maybe
PD.
like
Yeah, the
how,
boys.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So I mean, I think the reason why, if I had to distill it down and do like 2 minutes on it, I would say that firmness, width, and the consequence of misses is what makes this golf course unique and why I think it's going to be a more interesting style of golf than honestly what we saw at Oak Hill. And I liked Oak Hill probably a lot more than a lot of people, certainly more than, some other people that I talk a lot of architecture with often. But what's going to make this golf course different than Oak Hill is that, at Oak Hill, Rory was able to get away with missing by 20 yards and still finishing seventh because, as you were there. There were a lot of trampled down areas. They took out so many trees. And the consequence of a 20-yard miss was not that different from the consequence of a 2-yard miss, right? LACC is very different. LACC is a situation where if you hit a perfect drive, you're in the fairway and have a good opportunity to make birdie. If you hit a drive that's a little bit offline, you're still probably in the fairway, maybe with a little bit of a worse angle, but you still have a decent opportunity to make birdie. If you hit a bad drive and miss by 20 yards, like Rory did at Oak Hill, you're potentially in a barranca staring, not bogey, double bogey in the face, right? And that's why I think LACC is going to be more fun because at Oak Hill,
yeah,
a lot of pars and bogeys, right? And that's why Brooks was so good. Like the strategy on every hole was kind of like hit the green, hit it 30 feet left or 30 feet right. Take your chances with your putter, maybe hole 2 or 3 long putts this week, but mainly 2 putt for pars, birdie 2 holes around, and you win the tournament, right? LACC is there's like 5 or 6 legitimate birdie holes, in my
yes,
opinion.
yes,
There's also
100%.
5 or 6 legitimate double holes.
Yeah,
And you're going to see guys make 6s and 7s on this golf course. And that's going to make really compelling golf,
yeah,
right? Because I think we're going to see leaderboard movement. I think we're going to see 1 or 2 guys play really freaking well and shoot a 65 on this golf course. And maybe this is a situation where it's like, remember Royal Troon, where it was like
yeah.
Henrik
Phil
and
and
Phil
Stenson, yeah,
really separated themselves. I don't know if it'll be to that extent, but this is a golf course where if you're playing well, you can go out and shoot a number. And if you're playing poorly, you're going to get penalized. So I
yeah.
think that's going to make for a really compelling tournament.
Yeah, no, I agree. So let's get into it. I'll put these 4 together. We got Scotty at 7, Rom at 11, Brooks at 12, Rory at 14. If you had to, because I think these two are kind of in their own class. Like, where are you on Rom versus Scheffler? Just overall, like, who do you think will play better this week? A lot of people are like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna bet Scotty." He's been playing so unbelievable. And he's there in every major. And Ron's a little bit off the beaten path. So who do you prefer between them, like in a vacuum, not ownership, anything? Like, who do you think will play better this week?
Rom.
Okay.
Yeah. I think one thing that, and No Laying Up did say this too on their preview pod this morning when they talked about like, yeah, Scotty, like we saw him a little bit, like he still doesn't look good with the putter. Muirfield Village was one of like the easiest putting courses on the PGA Tour.
And didn't
And it
make a
was
putt
such a
over 10
good,
feet.
yeah, it was such a good get right spot. Like that's a golf course that you go to if you're struggling with your putter and you want to find
Yeah.
something.
No.
This is not the golf course where you're going to find it. Like he could putt okay. He could win this tournament not putting that great, but this is not the golf course that you go to if you're an unconfident putter. It will expose you in ways that Muirfield Village and golf courses on the PGA Tour haven't. I mean, there's not a putt without a couple feet of brick. There's not a 20 footer on this course that's flat.
Yeah.
It's really tough inside 10 feet. That golf course made me look really stupid. I'm not a good putter, as you know. I'm a good ball striker, but I'm not a good putter. And that golf course made me look really stupid on the greens. So I just think that it's like, like, and people were asking me this, like, why is Scotty 7th in your model? And it's like, after a certain point, like if you're a bottom 10 putter on the PGA Tour, like that has to count for something on this golf course. And I think it does. So I'm taking Rahm, who I think is a smoking gun this week. I think he's going to finish top 5. And he's 12 to 1 at Circa, and that's a fucking phenomenal bet.
Yeah, I was never a Scotty guy. I was never like even debating Scotty.
Me neither.
But I'm like I like Rahm, like in terms of like I'm playing him on DraftKings.
Fuck yeah.
Like I'm in on Rahm over Scotty. This week, I mean, you just look at the West Coast results and like he just always elevates his game. And like earlier in the year when everyone was like, this guy's going to win the Grand Slam, it was because he just kept playing on the West Coast. And like anytime you're just going to have so many long irons and woods in your hands, like I just want Rahm. And he's going to be way less owned. I'm not betting either of them. Like I don't have room, but I prefer Rahm over Scheffler. So I'm glad you agree with me. Are we doing the Brooks thing again? Like I was ready to go into the week like he has 0 shot, but like I can't
do that.
Okay.
I can't do that. I can't do that. I think Hovland has 0 chance, but I can't say that's the guy that I'm choosing as this guy has 0 chance.
Yeah.
I can't do that with Brooks. I think I'm not playing Brooks. I never considered betting him. I think Rory's going to outplay Brooks this week. I think Rahm's going to outplay Brooks this week. I take Scotty over Brooks too. So he's my least favorite of that 4. But no, I can't. I can't.
Yeah, I want to. Like, I fucking hope Brooks missed the cut by 5. Seriously.
Would love.
Would love. It's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
Nothing would make me happier.
Oh my god!
I almost overjoyed. I almost feel like you a little bit, where it's like it's not the golfer, it's like the people. Like honestly, like
but I will say this. There's not. They could be more obnoxious. I mean, this week. I would say that I think a lot of the Brooks people were more obnoxious after the Masters because it was like, oh, you guys fucking doubted him. Everybody fucking doubted him. Luck and see. And then Oak Hill, obviously, too. The guys that bet him at Oak Hill, too. But this time it's like no one's doubting him.
Yeah.
Everyone believes he's fucking awesome. Everyone believes he's the best major player of the last 10, 15 years since Tiger. Not everyone's betting him, but no one's fucking doubting him or just.
No, I think it's like a lot of people have futures, but it's like Joe Idoni like tweeted. It's like, I'm surprised like more people aren't betting like Brooks like this week. And I'm like,
would be more bets.
I think it's tough because it's like, yo, this guy was fucking 40 to 1 4 months ago, and now he's 11 to 1. And if you bet him, it's like you could bet like 1 or 2 other guys if you like actually give a shit about like how you. Like, so I think it's very hard to be like, I know he just won a major, but it's like no one's odds have moved that much in 2 majors that I can ever really remember. It's crazy to go from 30 to 1 to 11 to 1. So
do you think in a vacuum, because I think there's some people that would even argue that Brooks should be the favorite based on his major record.
Yeah.
Do you think in a vacuum 11 to 1's a good number? I don't think.
I think the question is, if Brooks was on the PGA Tour, would he be the favorite? And he
Well,
like top 10 at Memorial and
if Brooks
like
was on the PGA Tour, I don't think that he would have the PGA Tour results that
okay.
Scotty Scheffler does.
I know. So then Scotty would be the favorite. So I think the reason
Yeah.
why he's 5 points higher is because he plays on live. And all we've seen from Scotty since the PGA is him like gain 20 strokes ball striking. And we haven't seen anything of Brooks. So that is my take.
Yeah.
At
I
least.
will say this, like I have a ton of respect for Brooks's course fit here. I think this is a golf course that Brooks is ostensibly going to enjoy.
Yeah.
Obviously, we don't need to get into the cock. Shout out Tony Finau T5.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing about Brooks is it's like, he's talked about how he likes the East, he doesn't love the West Coast thing. It's really, if you actually look at the quote, he's talking about how he doesn't like Kikuyu and how
Yeah.
Poa annoys him sometimes too. Like
Yeah.
this golf course has the same agronomy as like Phoenix, where he's been
No,
awesome.
yeah.
So,
There's no doubt. I would say all of them finish in the top 10. I really like. They're all going to play great. Rory, he's finally under the radar.
You like the least. Rory, you like.
Yeah, sure, I guess, but I don't like hate Rory. But he's finally under the radar in a major, so like maybe that will do something.
Not under my radar.
Yeah, but like he is, he's definitely the most under the radar in my opinion. Cantley 17-1. You're betting him. I bet Cantley in the past 2 majors. I bet on him at 11-1, and it cost me $3,000 at the Memorial. I wish you the best of luck because it's going to be tilting. And I have concerns about the putter, but you are in on Patrick Cantley at 17-1.
I don't think I bet him. I haven't bet him at a major this year.
Okay.
So I feel better about that. I understand. I think if I had bet, because I was close on him at the Masters and I didn't because I couldn't fit him with Rahm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think if I had burned more money on Cantlay at majors, I'd probably feel less confident than I do now. Same situation applies to Xander, who I went back and look. I bet Xander 1 time this year, which is shocking to me. Torrey.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's not to say I haven't burned money on Cantlay at majors. I bet him last year at Country Club. I've bet him at the Masters last year too. So I bet him twice at majors last year, 0 times this year. I don't know if I bet him on the PGA Tour this year because
I think you bet him at match play.
Totally correct. I think you're right. So I bet him 1 or 2 times on the PGA Tour this year, but I'm not like a Cantlay guy. I'm not a fan of his game. Watching his game, I'm a fan of his game statistically. But listen, man, it's put up or shut up time with this guy. Like if it's not this golf course, I don't know when it's coming. He actually has, if you're going to do the LA thing, which I think is kind of dumb to begin with, but if you're going to do it, it's Cantlay's the guy who should be doing it because UCLA actually played LACC.
Yeah, and he said he's played it dozens of times.
Yeah, Homa's played LACC 1 time in the last decade. Like, so if you're going to do the LACC thing, like Cantlay actually does know this course really well and does love this course really well. And, one thing they talked about on Shackelford was talking about in a recent Fried Egg pod was, this is not a golf course that Brooks has ever seen. Not a golf course that Rory's ever seen. He doesn't think Rahm's been here at all. I think Spieth's been here a couple times, but, Cantlay has. And even if he hadn't, he's the second best driver of the ball in the world, a phenomenal long iron player, a good short game, great bunker player. I don't need to make the statistical case for him. So I'm just I think we're at a point with Cantlay where it's like, I feel it this week. I see it this week. And if he doesn't do it this week, it's like, just like you're James Harden. Just get out of here, man. Get out of here. This is a perfect golf course for you. Get out of here, man. You're James Harden. Get out of here if you can't contend here. Yeah. And I think you will.
Yeah. Okay. My biggest thing is with the putter, and I don't understand why he's 5 points lower than he was at the PGA when like 2 guys have passed him on the odds board. So for that reason,
it'd be course fit.
Yeah. Like I think it's like LA, but it's like it doesn't make sense for me that he was the same odds as Hovland. Hovland was actually worse odds, and Koepka was the same odds, and they both have passed him, and he's 5 points lower. That doesn't make sense to me.
Would you bet Cantlay? What's your buy number on Cantlay?
No, I was like, I don't think I was ever betting him, but like 22, I would have considered it maybe, but I can't. But yeah, I'm betting Hovland this week. I got an 18-1. I think
Can't lay Hovland head to head eyeball.
I'm
emoji?
down. I'm down for that. I'm down for
Okay.
that. And then we could talk about Finau later, but I'm down for that. $50.
Okay.
Okay. So
Done.
my thing is that if you take a very basic approach to majors, is that golfers that play well in majors are usually the ones that win the majors. And when you look at the US Open specifically, since Gary Woodland, they've all top 10 at the PGA Championship, a month before, even Bryson, when the schedule was flipped around. So that's a good omen for Cantlay. I'll give you that. So I think that he has that going for him. He is the best bent putter in the field. He is a much better putter than Cantlay at the moment. He's been putting really well. Yeah, Hovland. On bent, I think he
Depends
is.
on your sample size, but
yeah.
Okay.
So we have that going. And he's just such a talented ball striker, and he's a top 5 long iron player in the field. He's an amazing long iron player, amazing driver, and that's why he's top 7 at the past 3 majors that he's played in. And I think that if he finished runner-up at Memorial, he would be way more popular, and more people would think he has a chance. But I kind of like that he got the monkey off his back, and I think that the greens and the around the green are so difficult that no one is going to be putting everything to a tap-in range.
Yeah, I've heard that theory before.
I think that a lot of it will come down to putting. Like, a lot of these guys are going to be chipping out to 5 feet, and you got to make the putt. And I trust this putter. So at 18-1, I think it's very similar. I know he didn't have the wins, but I think it's similar to Scotty, who was around the 17-1 when he went into the Masters and he won his last start. So I will just take a guy that's been there, been in the heat of contention in the past 3 majors at 18-1. So that is my case for Hovland, and I'm glad that we disagree on it. But like, no beef though, like zero.
No beef. And what I would say about Hovland too, yes, he's my least favorite of the super elites. But I think the case, and a lot of that is like, when you're buying in on the guy, sometimes to a fault, I'm a buy low guy. And I just think you're buying him at his absolute highest stock price currently. But if he's Apple, then you're still going to, you know what I mean? Like that's what me and Bamford were talking about. And Bamford made the point and you just touched on it too. It's like, if you're betting Hovland this week at 18-1, and if you're playing him at 20% on DraftKings, then you think his ceiling is the best player in the world. And he could be the best player in the world. Maybe. I mean, because right now he's being treated like he's the 4th best player in the world. And so if you think he's going to do what Scotty Scheffler did, and you're right, I think there are more similarities statistically with Hovland's precursor to right now to Scheffler's precursor to when he really became Scotty Scheffler. And if you think Hovland's that guy, then you should bet him at 18-1 and you should play him in DraftKings at 20%. But you better think he's that guy, because you're buying him his value's not depressed.
Yeah.
And I have more concerns with you about the short game. It's a chipping technique thing. I just think I don't think we can correlate, not even good, like fine around the green, not shoot yourself out of the tournament performances at Memorial and Oak Hill. I just think LACC is going to ask you a lot of different questions around the green. But no beef.
No beef? All right.
Beef.
I'm glad there's no beef.
Yeah, no beef.
So you're in on your guy Xander this week. You're sticking with the early year prediction. I think he's a little bit under the radar. I think people are maybe a little bit sick of him after
not on DraftKings. So
yeah, that's interesting, man. I don't really understand that. But what is your case for your boy Zandy?
Well, let me throw it back to you real quick, just out of curiosity. Which bet do you take more issue with? Cantlay at 17 or Xander at 22? If I said you have to bet one of those, which would you rather bet?
I would rather bet Xander, because I just don't understand Cantlay's price.
Fair. Okay. Um, I don't know if I'd say 22 is a good number. I've seen Xander as low as like 16,
Yeah.
which is absolutely insane to me. But yeah, I think that you know me, I'm stubborn to a fault, and there's got to be a good reason for me to change my pick if my pick, in my opinion, still has a really good chance to win the golf tournament. And I do think that I'm not really a what's everyone doing guy. I kind of used to be more than I am. I care way less. Maybe it's because I don't spend enough time looking what people are saying. I probably care more if I listen, but um there is a, and Kayla has this too. That's why I call them the disgusting brothers. Like I would say there's like a pretty decent, would you agree with that? There's like a pretty decent group of people that are like, yo, I'm fucking done with both of these
I
guys.
don't, like I agree, but like I also think that people have been betting the fuck out of them the past two majors. Like I like there's
Which
still
I have
enough
not.
people like
Yeah.
there's still a lot of people that are like, all right, like I'm not like completely giving up. But like I do think that obviously less people are gonna bet them than at the past two majors.
Yeah, it creates a weird situation with Xander because it's like Xander was chalk at the Masters and he finished 10th, and Xander was chalk but was it never in the tournament? Not didn't hit one relevant shot. So if you played him in DraftKings, you're like, yeah, Xander kind of got the job done. And if you bet him outright, you're like, this guy's a fucking loser. And then the same thing happened at Oak Hill. It's like Xander was chalk at Oak Hill, was kind of a popular outright bet. And the people that bet
What
him
did he
outright are like
finish at Oak Hill?
18th.
Okay.
He didn't kill your DraftKings
Yeah.
lineups. So you have this weird situation where, like I said, if you're betting Xander outright, you got to put a paper bag on, but he's going to be like the third highest owned
Yeah, that's
player on the slate which he's like an anomaly in that sense. And it's like, because Xander's top 10 in 5 of the 6 US Opens that he's played in,
yeah.
but, never really, really super had a real chance on Sunday afternoon to win a US Open. So listen, I mean, I would rather bet Xander outright to win this tournament than play him at 22% in DraftKings. That's just how I do it. But yeah, I have a feeling about him. I think these guys is put up or shut up time. I think one of them, if not both, are going to make like a really
Yeah.
big statement.
Yeah, like if
And if
one of
they
them
don't,
has to like seriously be in contention, or people are going to be really like, yeah, what the fuck?
and they deserve to be. People deserve to be. If you're there now, I get it. I think Xander's, 3 years younger than Cantlay. And I bring up the Phil 32, DJ 32 thing all the time. But it's like, like they're both playing amazing. This is a perfect course fit in their home state. Like, if it's not here, like,
Yeah.
dude.
You might just be like good on that. Like,
yeah, I mean, you may just suck.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, and then this like, so yeah, I wish you the best of luck with the Disgusting Brothers. I got to that point in succession. I watched the episode after the big thing happened. So yeah, I'm just plugging along, just trying to watch it. But yeah, it's a good show. Like I'll give you that. Like I enjoy it. Okay. So 30-1, like no one's in the 20s, everyone's in the 30s. Spieth, Homa, Cam Smith, Hatton, Fitz, Colin, Finau, kind of this group. I understand. So full disclosure, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing with my betting card. I bet
you're
Spieth,
in on Spieth, and
I bet
Hovland,
Spieth 32. I bet Spieth 32, but like I would cash it out. Like I wouldn't.
Really? Why?
I would. Like cuz I don't love it, but there's no one else I'm like jonesing to bet. But I do think you can't even really knock him for the driver because he's been hitting the piss out of the ball. Like you always say, this is an Andyism, is that he's like the worst long iron player of the elites, and there's going to be so many fucking long irons. So like that's where it kind of concerns me a little bit. And again, it's hard for me to get over the US Open winners. However, I do think this is one he could kind of contend at, and I can really do whatever with my card. So I'll probably keep it. Homa, I'm out on. It would be really funny if he won when like everyone was really high on him, and now no one's high on him. What is his ownership? Say, yeah,
Why don't you
11%.
bet? Why not Cam Smith?
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't. And he's playing well. And he's confident in his interviews. He's saying he's been hitting the ball well with the driver. Top 10 at, I don't know. I don't think he's gonna win a US Open. Like I just
So
it's
if you have Hovland at what, 18?
yeah, Hovland at 18.
Hovland at 18 and Spieth at 32, which
Yeah,
is a good number on
I could
Spieth.
do
You
like
could do, I mean, what's the range you're looking
no,
at? You're
I don't
looking
think I
at,
think I'm probably just gonna keep Spieth because I don't like cashing out bets. I'm out
yeah,
on Cam, and then I'm just gonna bet a bunch of losers down the board. Like that probably won't win, but I might like bet it with an each way or something. But that's
yeah,
how I feel right now. Like I
yeah.
like because I'm not betting. I don't have room to bet a guy up top. I don't really like any of these guys like kind of in this 30 to 41 range.
But
So
you could bet Cam.
yeah, I could, but I would rather just have other bullets.
Okay.
But yeah, Hatton. I'm not a Hatton guy. I'm not like in on Hatton. Like he just mispriced on DraftKings and he's playing well. I do think that the U.S. Open history is concerning. Fitz 35. I'm out on Colin 36. I think he'll be in the mix. I'm going to play Colin on DraftKings because I don't think he'll get the ownership. I like Colin.
Like it too.
Finau 40. You're in on it. Like I'm not going to fight you on it. Like it's all good. If you want to do a side wager on his finishing position, like I'm in on that.
With
But
Hill.
no, like even money, he finishes like he's plus 125 to top 20. So I would give you like 22nd or better.
Down. I'll do that.
So
20
50
second.
bucks, 22nd or better, Tony Finau.
If he finishes T22, we push.
Sure. Okay. Perfect. Yep. Okay. But what is your case for Finau?
Well, I love this golf course for him. I mean, he is, I did this by hand because I didn't, I don't trust some website, some of the, what my definition of a firm golf course, I think is different than other people's definition of a firm golf course. But Finau is the only guy, along with Rory, that's averaging over 2 strokes to the field in really like firm conditions. And you think about a place like Memorial Park was really firm, Bermuda based, slick. Tom Doak, who worshiped George Thomas, greens with a lot of contouring, 5th at the Cock, 14th at Chambers.
Who could forget?
14th at Chambers Bay. And I just think like he's a smoking gun this week. He's finally at a price that's fair. He's 40 to 1. He's going to be 10, 11% on DraftKings. He has the major resume.
Not recently. That is my concern. It's not recently. It hasn't been great in majors, and he doesn't have any good result in designated events. That's my biggest concern, but it's really not the end of the world. I'm glad that he's 40 now, 25, and you're betting it. Like, at least I can stomach that.
Do you remember off the top of your head what he was at? Because I didn't bet him at the Masters or Oak Hill. Do you remember?
He was like 25, 28 at both of those.
Because Mexico was before Oak Hill, right?
Yes. And he was like very popular.
But yeah, it's just popular on DraftKings, and it's a good buy low.
I agree. I'm glad he's at a good number. My biggest concern is just the major record recently, and like the designated event record recently. He just doesn't seem, because my frustration, I've talked about it, is just that like when he goes out and demolishes the field at Memorial and demolishes the field in Mexico and looks unstoppable over the summer, it's like, yo, like do it in the majors. Like this is your time. Like you're winning these events. Like do it when the best players are in the field at designated event and in majors. And since he's gotten his wins, he just doesn't. So that's my concern. But it's really NBD, no beef. It's all good. I think I'm gonna bet Rose.
Like, yeah.
Because like I just have the room. I'm gonna bet it with the each way.
Marion, like, ever heard of it?
Yeah. The dude's fucking right now. Like Justin Rose is fucking right now. He's fucking every week. He's fucking every position. And he's been doing it in majors as well. So I like the recent major history. I like the way he's playing. I just trust him in majors, career resurgence. Will he win? Probably not, but I'll take a top 10 on him from a little bit of insurance. You're back in on J Day, like buy low, gang.
Yeah.
on J Day. Byron Nelson comp, maybe a little bit.
Yeah. Just to put a bow on Rose too. 10th at the Cock. We got to mention that. 12th at Pinehurst.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't think Jason Day's going to win. It's a DraftKings. I like him as a DraftKings play. And I'll probably if I see, I think I bet some matchups today. I think I bet him in a matchup over Cameron Young.
I like that.
But yeah, no, I mean, Jason Day's like a sneaky, unbelievable U.S. Open player.
Yeah.
And he's been playing. Obviously, he's had an amazing season. I mean, I was never betting Jason Day this year. I just didn't do it. Not that I don't have respect for him. I just didn't do it. And you know me, I like to wait till everyone does their thing. And then I sneak in when everyone's done with him. And if everyone's done with Jason Day, I'm hopping on. You know, we're talking, the guy had Chambers in his hands until he had a fucking vertigo. So contended at Marion, 12th at Pinehurst. Come on.
With all this Chambers talk, I just get more and more mad that Dustin Johnson's robbed us of an 18-hole playoff between him and Spieth. What a fucking idiot. How do you not fucking two-putt that? That would have been we would have always had the film of Spieth and DJ battling for 18 holes on a fucking Monday. Fuck DJ for that. That really pisses me off.
You know, we're going to, me and Natalie are going to the restaurant at the hotel that I know for a fact that he's staying at on Thursday night. So I'll tell him you said so if I see him.
No, serious. It's doesn't that piss you off?
I mean,
it doesn't keep you up at night.
I like DJ. I've always been more of a DJ guy than a Spieth guy, and I think that. So yeah, I was rooting for DJ in that major. Obviously, you know, the sting didn't end up being as big because he won Oakmont the next year. But I think, and I bet him 8-1. This was kind of pre-Twitter for me, so I didn't know that this was you'd get shit on, but I didn't bet anyone else, so it was we don't have to call the police.
You knew,
but I was
sustainable ROI even before
November,
on
obviously. Yeah, November Masters. I was big on him, obviously. Shout out, 8-1, it's no big deal. But he might have been lower actually. Yeah, I think he was 8-1. But anyway, I mean, I think that he is. I've always liked DJ. I don't, he got his win. I think 2 majors is probably too low for him. I don't think he's going to get a third, but I think for his talent level.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, it's always felt too low.
Before he won the November Masters, everyone was like, yo, how does DJ have one major? Fucking Lucas Glover has one major. Get it together, bro.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's just I watch a lot of old, old
US Open films.
Yeah, literally they just
I love that shit.
All of them. So I've been watching a lot of them. But I bet Adam Scott 90-1 earlier in the week. That number is gone. He's
another guy that has too few majors.
Yes. Yeah. I think he, will he win? Probably not. But he's playing great right now. Two facets of his game are popping, and he's just kind of lacking on one start. But 9th at Memorial, 8th at Byron, 5th at Wells. Really good. He's becoming a really good bent putter. He's piping it off the tee. Australian vibes, great long iron player. I really like Adam Scott this week. First round leader, DraftKings. He's a staple in my lineups. I really like him, and he's been good in Cali. Obviously won at Rivy with a runner-up, 2 top 10s at the Farmers, 7th at the U.S. Open in Pebble, top 25 at the PGA in Harding Park. He does his thing in Cali. Not a Cali guy, but he fucks in Cali. He looks like a movie star. So yeah, give me Adam Scott 90 to 1. I really like Scott this week.
2 things real quick on Scott, and I can't take credit for either of them. But Lamagna talked about on the podcast I did with him. He was like, when I asked him about comp courses, the first one he said is Royal Melbourne. Yeah. So, and I've never been to Australia, so I can't comment on, and we have limited, I didn't watch Live Adelaide. You got me. You got me.
You weren't up at 3 a.m.?
Yeah, but I did watch that 2019, I think it was, President's Cup. And yeah, there's a lot of sandbelty. I could see that. And another thing Shackelford was talking about, and I was like, that's a take. I don't know if, like, what do you have to back up that take? And then I remembered that Australians do really well at Riviera, but I think Australians really seem to like Los Angeles because they do really well at Riviera. I don't know if maybe it's the food. Next to my apartment in West Hollywood, there's like an Australian coffee shop.
RK's girlfriend.
RK's girlfriend. Shout out Laura.
Mean, what
I don't know if there's a
want?
big. I don't know if Australia is like a big destination, or Los Angeles is a big destination for Australians. But maybe there's something there.
Yeah. No, there's for sure something there. Kind of at the latter half of the board, like, kind of want to open it up to you. What kind of long shots, DFS, high 7, low 6s, do you like this week? Kind of just open it up to Mr. Lack, who you like down the board this week.
Well, I bet Mito at 125 to 1.
See how the tides have turned? Like, I'm happy for you, man.
Yeah, man. I can't believe how popular he is. I mean, are there, like, how would you explain the 14% on him? Like, who else is?
Well, what's his price?
I thought it was just me and Jesse. That just
what's his price?
I don't even know if John's in. I'm seeing him tomorrow, but I don't even know if John's in.
Yeah, he's 7,200. Though I think it's the ball striking numbers, right? He's just hitting the piss out of it.
Right, but the ball striking numbers, and he has been unbelievable at the first 2 majors, but that's all we got, you know?
It's but like he is the definition of chalk. Like, no one around him is even close.
Well, Siwoo and Woodland and Henley are Denny, yeah. Just because the 6s is so barren.
Yeah,
but
I have some plays down there, but
shout out Cooch. 12th at Pinehurst. I 34th at Southern Hills. I'll take it.
What did you get on Mito?
I either got 125 or 150. I can actually check for you.
What did you make him? Right, like, what do you make him this week?
I would have bet Mito at like 80 to 1. I don't think I would have bet him at like 50, but I probably would have. I definitely would have bet him at like 80 to 1.
So plus EV regardless of anything.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Okay.
And, Southern Hills, same agronomy,
I mean, major form. He's been doing it. I don't want to give out all of my 6K plays, but I really like Shank. Shank is possibly just like in every lineup type of guy. Top 10s in his last 2 starts. Was kind of popping his head around at Torrey. Huge fucking Cali guy. And then fucking Patrick Rogers. He can make the cut, right?
I like Patrick Rogers too. 100%. I like Patrick Rogers too.
Yeah.
And then I was going to say, like, the guy that would have been in 100% of my lineups was Stu Hagstand, and he didn't qualify. Dude, I was gonna play so much Stewie Hags.
I would have been
LAC members. LAC Stewie Hags shoots 63 at LACC because it's a fucking Wednesday.
Wait,
and he's not in the field. They should have given him a special exemption.
Yeah, you talked about it for a while.
I've been on the Stewie Hags.
How old?
First of all, he led the U.S. Open at Brookline for like Thursday at 10:15 a.m.
Are you sure?
Stewie Haggestan was leading. Yes, you remember.
I want to know
Stewie Haggestan was leading the U.S. Open.
I want to guess from you because I have the fucking wiki up. How old? Okay, how old was Stuart Haggestan in the 2017 Walker Cup?
26, probably. Right? He's
like
32.
How did you know that?
Because I know Stewie Hag. Like, I've met the guy. I know Stewie Haggestan. We play in the same, like, we're in the same circle of golfers with a lot of, like, he plays in this game that I've played in before, and he plays in a game with one of my friends at LACC, and he's a USC guy, and I actually met him at a USC Notre Dame tailgate.
And you were
And
like,
he's
"You're my idol."
no, it was a while ago, and I didn't really know about him at the
Okay.
time. And then I started, what's interesting about Stewie is I seriously, I don't know if people know the backstory.
Let's do
I
5 minutes on
I
someone not
might
in the U.S.
not
Open.
in the field. I might do a Hagistan deep dive pod, but the interesting thing about Stewie is he could have been on the PGA Tour. He would have been a regular mule on the PGA Tour. Stewie Hagistan's better at golf than I'm not going to say Denny anymore, but he's better at golf than, like, I don't know. I can't say Shank either. Denny and Shank were the first two names that came to mind, but he's unreal. He's insane.
Like Vincent
He's
Norman,
nuts.
Charlie
Yeah, he's
Hoffman.
better. Yeah, he's a Charlie Hoffman, one of those guys, things of those nature. And he said, I can make more money in finance. And then there's some questionable,
So how
there's some debate about,
does he
he
come?
kind of he gets floated by people to play. There's a whole thing that I can get it.
What?
It's another podcast,
So
but
is he like plus? Is he like +3, +4 handicap, or like better than
oh
that?
yeah, he takes
Okay.
everyone's money in
Okay.
every game that I know that he plays in. Yeah,
So
he
my
takes
question to you
he could
is:
be on the PGA Tour for sure.
how did he become a member at LACC? Does he come from money,
I don't know if
or
yeah,
like?
but I would assume so because he went to USC and then he's in the boys club. He got into I don't know how many guys that are a member at LACC don't have some familial old money connection.
Okay.
LACC is a very old money club. They don't let in. They turned down Mark Wahlberg and Rob Lowe, and they're not interested in Hollywood. It's a very
Just
white
like
shoe, old
extremely
school,
rich
old
people,
money, extremely
like
rich
extremely
people.
rich people in LA that like people don't know.
Yeah, and you gotta be able to play too. I mean, it's like one of those courses like Winged Foot too, where, if you're a good player, and I mean, a lot of good clubs are like that. That helped me get into Oak Hill. I mean, Stewie Haggison can play, and it's in the best interest of a lot
Yeah.
of those clubs. Is a lot of those clubs are trying to get younger and build for the future. And if you give LACC a 30-year-old dude that probably already makes 400K a year and is a +3, like that's what they're looking for,
Yeah.
because that guy's going to be a member because he's a junior member. And so all these clubs, their dues go up at 35, right?
Yeah.
So you could join as a junior member and get a big discount. And then when I turned 35 at Oak Hill, again, whole other podcast. I don't even know who's still listening to this right now about
20
the
people
new
are
of
still
this
live on
stuff.
YouTube. So
Yeah. But so a lot of these places, if you're under 35, they'll give you a big discount. But then when you turn 35, the rate goes way up. So Stewie joined as a junior member, and he's kind of the perfect junior member profile that they're looking for.
yeah.
But yeah, I think he would have been first round later.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on Stewie. But yeah,
Not in the field.
like I'm like I'll play it. Like he'll probably be in like 25% of my lineups. But
I'm
yeah, we'll
doing him with
see.
I do the Stewie Zalatoris stack.
Yeah,
Because
no, that's
Walker
a
Cup.
good. Yeah, no, Walker
Obviously.
Cup vibes. But yeah, I'm excited for this week. I wish I could be in LA. I love LA. But
Shout out everyone.
yeah, shout out Air One. If you're in LA, go to fucking Air One. Like I'm not gonna kind of make a big deal about it, but it's amazing. I hope I want to shout out Natalie, who came on your pod. Everyone go check it out. She was great. All your content this week has been spectacular. Really enjoyed it. And I hope you have a low-key day tomorrow. And get to the fucking course. Fucking bang out. Tell Natalie, get her nails done, and bang out your fucking Core 4 article and wake up and go to the course. You really should go to the practice round.
I agree. I should. I think I should be able to in the afternoon. So I'm absolutely gonna try and make it out there, and then I'll be out there all Saturday too, which should be great. So
yeah,
pleasure as always.
Yeah,
I'm so pumped for this golf tournament. I think people, even if I think it's gonna play really well on TV. Like I think it's gonna be such an entertaining watch from all angles, and Yeah.
Yeah. Pleasure, Andy, as always. And we will see you next week for the Travies, my hometown event. Should be a
Are you
movie.
going?
So like months ago, one of my girlfriends was like, I'm getting a house in Fire Island. Everyone's coming. Like it's this weekend. I'm like, I'm in. Like bunch of girls, Fire Island weekend. I'm in. And then as I got closer, I'm like, wait, oh, it's Travelers weekend. So I got a lot of shit going on at work. We got like an audit coming up. I might go Thursday during the day, but I just might miss the Travelers this year. But it'll be okay. I'm not too worried about it. But maybe Thursday during the day. I gotta see what's up. But I've had enough golf tournaments this year, I think.
Can't believe it's a fucking elevated event. That makes zero sense to me. And we're probably gonna hear guys complain, as they should.
Yeah, I mean, didn't you kind of have a connection to Connecticut, so I wouldn't be talking that much shit.
I went to boarding school in Connecticut.
Yeah. Okay. So. Yeah, we got that one. I knew that.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll see you next week, Andy. Pleasure as always, and good luck with your bets this week.